Welcome to episode 690 of Salsidoparanormal. I'm your host, James Salsido, and tonight I'm sharing true paranormal stories from the web. As always, you can find all episodes of the show, along with links to social media and other ways to contact me at the podcast page. And that is salsidoparanormal.podbean.com. That's SALSIDO paranormal.podbean.com. Always happy to hear from you all, whether you have comments or questions or topic suggestions or accounts of paranormal experiences, whether they're your own or from others that you trust. Happy to either read those or have you join me on the show to talk about them. Thank you all for listening, whether you are here for the live recordings on Discord or if you listen to the podcast or YouTube feeds or on the Troubled Minds Radio Network, KUAP Digital Broadcasting. There you can hear replays of 2 episodes of my show every night at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, right before Michael Strange and Troubled Minds Radio comes on. And as always, I want to thank Michael Strange for having me on the network and putting my shows up there. And so I'm always grateful for that. And if you'd like to support my show, you can do that in a few different ways. You can always share the show with others and rate and review it on your favorite podcast platforms. You can find books I've written over on Amazon, paranormal fiction and nonfiction, including my most recent release, Salsido Paranormal Experiences. You can sign up for the Patreon page and get extra content whenever I'm able to make it, as well as listen to all those shows that are already there. Or you can just make one-time donations through PayPal. Support is never expected, but especially these days, always appreciated, as there are expenses in making these shows, from equipment to research materials to travel expenses in some cases. And I believe that takes care of everything, so let's get back to these true paranormal stories from the web, as I'm recording here tonight. So I release these one at a time usually, but I record them a few at a time in one night. So let me see here. Looking at where I left off. Okay. This one says, I'm sorry. All right, there we go. It says, I was at a relative's condominium for a holiday family gathering and brought my video game console to stay occupied during my visit. While playing, I distinctly heard my mom's voice calling my name from down the hall, even though my mom was not even in the same state at the time. I tried to dismiss it, attributing it to overthinking or a noise from the upstairs neighbors. I heard more sounds, including footsteps or light thuds, which seemed to come from the direction of the kitchen door. I tried to shake off the sounds again, but grew uneasy as they continued and got louder. While sitting in the living room, which connects to the kitchen, dining room, and hallway, I noticed a faint face, the first time I looked in that direction of the sounds. I looked again and clearly saw the faint outline of an elderly woman. I can never say that word. I checked the time and noticed it was 3:03 a.m., which creeped me out. I then remembered earlier conversations with my relative about the condo's eerie atmosphere and unexplained nighttime noises. We don't know anything about the previous owner, but I wonder now if that has any connection to our experiences. What do you all think is going on here? And that's where that one ends. Could be a previous owner. I think one thing that is not always considered, which it's just something that I think happens here and there is sometimes you can have spirits or consciousness, whatever beings, passing through an area, but I don't know if that's the case there. Especially if there's been previous experiences that are similar to what the writer is talking about there. But yeah, I'm not sure. The yeah, so I don't know. It's amazing how when things don't happen for quite a while, you can sort of start to forget about them. It sounds like that may have been what happened there with the writer and then their relative, because they didn't sort of connect everything at first, but then after the fact they did. Also, for anyone that's wondering why they get creeped out about 3:03 a.m., around that time of the morning is said to be that time when things are supposed to be stranger. There's supposed to be more, I don't know, energy moving through an area. It's supposed to be more easier for evil, negative beings supposedly to sort of make themselves known, or at least that's when they choose to do so. Supposedly, again, a lot of folklore and mythology around that, but also modern day sort of uh, versions of that. People thinking about that and noticing that, and that may have to be a whole show that we do at some point on that whole topic. But it is a time when there are reports of paranormal, weird, unexplained things happening. Where that time in the morning, that 3 o'clock to maybe 4 o'clock, even I think in some cases the hour before 3 o'clock, that just that couple hours, few hours there seem to be a lot of experiences that happen during that time of morning. But as I always say, just like I think there's probably paranormal activity going on all around the world, just a matter of where. It's also just a matter of when. And so I don't know that how much there is to that 3 o'clock thing, or how much there isn't. I can't really say. So, but yeah, that is a. I wonder about that. I mean, could it be the previous owner or one of the previous owners? That's possible that the writer saw there. But beyond that, I don't know. So, sounds are can be weird in apartments. You would think that anyone could just write off sounds in apartments as or places as it's just the building settling. But I think when you live in a place long enough, you sort of get used to, at least I don't know, maybe not, but for me anyway, I sort of can tell now in most cases when it's just the regular sound from the building, whatever's going on in the building, wood expanding or contracting or whatever, airflows or whatever if there are any. I can usually tell the difference between those sounds and things I've heard in here before that sound like they just sound a little bit different, even if it's like bumps or knocks or not even really knocks, but just bumps or little sounds, moving sounds here or there. I feel like if you pay attention enough, you can sort of start to tell the differences between the sounds. And also, I think if you pay enough attention, you can sort of tell if you are getting any weird feelings before, during, or after these sounds, and versus when normal sounds happen in the place. Are you getting those same feelings? I think that's important to consider as well. But anyway, moving on to the next one here. Let's see here. Let's gotta scroll down. Okay. This one says, I do not need glasses or contacts to use a computer, but I do need them for driving. I lost my glasses last Friday, forcing me to use disposable contacts for driving during my office days at work, which was inconvenient. At the same time, I was dealing with an issue where a new lamp I purchased last week kept mysteriously turning itself on after being switched off. I plan to call an electrician after the holiday to resolve the issue if it kept acting up. Yesterday morning, I noticed the lamp turning on again and decided to check it out myself. My missing glasses were sitting right next to the lamp base, where I had apparently left them after reading the lamp's instructions. After I got my glasses back, I switched the lamp off, and it has worked perfectly ever since. I am grateful to whatever entity that might have spent the last week trying to help me find my glasses. That's where that one ends. And I really, I love that one in a way because it's something that's happening that is out of the ordinary, and it seems to be trying to get the person's attention, not for a negative reason, not for anything malicious. No, it's just basically trying to tell them, hey, come over here. Your glasses are over here. And obviously, if the person can't see it perfectly well, they could have been looking at the lamp and not seeing the glasses sitting next to it if they're at a distance away from it. So, and I love that after they got their glasses back, after they went and checked out the lamp, I love that the lamp never did that again. That is just amazing to me. This is one of those stories I really like a lot because it is something that seems to be paranormal, but it has a reason for happening. It's a purpose, it seems. And then once its mission is accomplished, so to speak, there's no more activity. It all stops. And that is amazing. That reminds me of something that happened to me years ago here in my apartment in the middle of the day, actually. And I think I've told this one before, but only a few times here and there. So I'm legally blind, and I use canes that can be. I started out using white canes. That's the cane that you use to find steps and things like that, barriers and things when you can't see so well. They have versions of those that are collapsible that can be either folded or they're telescopic, where you can just twist the pieces and they'll go back into the top part of the handle. And this one day I could not find my cane, and I had this old love seat couch bed kind of thing, and my dad stopped by that day just to use the restroom and everything. He drives around a lot, and he stopped by to see me and then to do that, and he put his coat on this couch, and I've been looking for my cane all that morning and part of the day before. I don't always go places every day, so it wasn't a huge deal at that moment. But anyway, I heard a sound coming from where my dad had put his coat on the couch, and it sounded like the phone that he had at the time. Whenever you would get a message, it would make it would say something like you have a message or something like that in a robotic voice, of course. And I heard that sound, and I told him, "You have a message on your phone." And he said, "No, I don't. I have my phone right here with me." And I thought, "Oh, that's odd. Okay, well, I don't know how to explain that, but whatever. It's not the first weird thing that's happened here." So he left. A little while later, he left, and I was still trying to figure out what was going on, and I just had this feeling like, wait, I don't know why, but I feel like I should look at the couch. Look at the couch for my cane. Sure enough, it had fallen into the space between the cushion and the frame, and it was right under where I heard that sound. So I think someone was trying to get my attention in the only way maybe it could at the time, and sort of pointing in a way to where I could find my cane. And it never happened again. I never heard that sound again before or after, that same sound. And yeah, it helped me find my cane. So I don't know how to explain that, but it happened, and it sounds like something similar happened with this person and their new lamp. Keep in mind, brand new lamp, and then their glasses, and then the lamp worked fine after they found their glasses. That's amazing. Anyway, I just love those stories where something weird happens, but it's not evil, not terrifying, and actually helps. So anyway, moving on to the next one here. Let me see. Okay. This one says, I was working the night shift at my job, completely alone except for a dog accompanying me. At 2:55 a.m., again, close to 3 a.m., I didn't plan that. I just find these stories and then put them in a document as I find them. While having my lunch, I heard two people talking as if unaware of my presence. The dog reacted by barking and looking toward the source of the voices. I also got up to investigate, but saw no one. It was as if the two people existed in another world where I did not exist. I didn't get negative or threatening vibes from them, from the incident. This is not the first time I have heard unexplained sounds at work. I've heard coughing when no one was there. Can anyone give some possible explanations for what might be going on here? And that's where that one ends. Again, I love that one in a way because I had a similar experience, and this doesn't happen too often where I end up finding stories that then lead me back to my own experiences. But I think it's possible what the writer said there. There was some kind of overlap between, I don't know, two levels of reality, either another time or an alternate version of a world, who knows? And there was just some kind of a connection where the writer there and the dog, they both heard the sounds of the voices. Didn't hear anything else, didn't see anything else, they didn't see anything weird, just heard those voices. And I think that's amazing. And I wonder how often, I mean, yes, there can be residual energies, and that could explain what happened there. I do think residual energy can exist and appear to be like a tape recording, basically, of events, whether it's just sounds or it is visual as well. That case could have been sort of what they would call like a residual haunting. And I guess really, I didn't think about this now until just now, but my own experience with that, with hearing two voices talking as if they were just passing through, I guess it could have been residual, even though I don't feel like it was. But again, I am very careful because I do believe this. Always very careful to say I really don't know for sure. But yeah, so I don't know. That's. I'm glad that the writer there had validation from the dog, sort of there to that also apparently heard these sounds. So that doesn't rule out that being residual energy, but that does mean that the writer there probably did hear something. So moving on to the next one here. We have two more to go. And let me see here. But might only get to one because the last one is long. This one says, a few years ago, I moved with my mom and brother to a predominantly senior neighborhood in upstate New York. I wasn't aware of this at the time, and I guess I mean the amount of senior citizens there. Our house had been previously occupied by an elderly couple who had not passed away. During the first year, I occasionally heard footsteps in my mother's upstairs bedroom while alone in the house, but dismissed them as house sounds, in quotation marks there, though I was skeptical. While loading food into the car one, let's see here, I lost my spot. 1 year, there we go, for Thanksgiving, I heard an old woman's voice behind me warning, "You better be careful with that pie," in a teasing tone. Turning around, I found no one there. Despite checking the area, no one was outside, including my brother or mother. This experience shifted my skepticism about the paranormal. While at home, during winter break, I heard faint, muffled sobbing sounds nearby. Assuming it was my mom, I was surprised when my mom texted me asking if I was okay, having also heard crying and thought it was me. We both ruled out natural causes, but were unsettled by the distinctly human and sorrowful sound. Wow, I can't talk. I eventually asked my mom what she thought was going on, and she speculated that the phenomena might be caused by my grandmother, who had passed away 6 months after we moved in. However, I wasn't sure about this explanation, as my grandmother had never visited the house, and the voice I heard on Thanksgiving did not resemble hers. Other things have happened since then. In the shower, while humming, I heard something repeat my melody back to me when no one else was home. One summer, the basement storage door slammed shut while I was alone, potentially explainable by airflow or the air conditioning, but still unsettling. I'm confused and curious about these experiences. What do they mean? What do I do about them? And that's where that one ends. And as usual, I have no idea what do they mean or what to do about them. But it sounds like the people there, have had several experiences. I don't blame the mother of the writer there for trying to maybe thinking it was their mother, the grandmother. But also, I think that the writer points out there that the voice that they heard didn't sound like their grandmother. Now, it could have been. It doesn't necessarily mean. I mean, there could always be multiple things going on, multiple presences there. So it's hard to say. But that's all the time we have for this episode. Thank you all for listening. And I will talk to you all next time on Salsidoparanormal. Take care.